going? My name's Callum Ward and we're here at Ward's Gym for Ward's Gym TV. Today I've got Jarah down from Swift Supplements and he's going to give us a little rundown about his backstory and also a breakdown on the products that he sells and why they're so good. So thanks for coming on board.
No worries, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here in the gym.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, yeah, tell us a bit about your backstory so everyone knows where you're coming from and yeah, take from there.
To cut a long story short, basically years ago when I was younger, I used to be really competitive in sport and in cycling, mountain bike racing. Decided I wanted to go and learn more about the coaching and the training and did a sports science degree, and then after that did a master's. And during that period of time, or going on to working with athletes and doing strength training and bits and pieces like that, I would always get questions about supplements and what to take. And because I had anti-doping or athletes that are tested, you be really careful, as you know, like what you recommend and things like that to those types of athletes. It's going to be very...
They're going to take your word for it and say this is the right way to do it.
Exactly. And no brand would say, oh, here's an anti-doping certificate, or tell me where the ingredients would come from. And so it got a bit difficult. Anyway, one of my athletes came to me one day and he said, why don't you just make it yourself? And I said, oh, no, I'm not really. I don't know if I want to go down that track. And I didn't really know much about the process, and then I was just sitting there and said, you know what, I'm going to make the very, very best product I really believe in for my own athletes, and it wasn't for sale or anything.
Right.
And so I started formulating these three here for my guys, and that's it. And I just gave it to the athletes and the sports team that I was working for at the time, and they were like, it was no holds barred, just make the very, very best stuff, third party tested, no banned substances. And then suddenly I get phone calls from other coaches and other athletes.
We want the goods.
And they're like, oh, so yeah, and other different people and saying, can I buy it? And it was just in black tubs with no labels, really.
Yeah, I think I remember the black tub one.
Yeah. And it was a bit embarrassing, but that's, and it wasn't really
you gotta start somewhere.
Exactly. And it wasn't for, for sale really. And then the same athlete goes, don't be stupid. Let these people buy it. Let people have it. And because it was very, super high quality and wasn't the easiest to produce. And so I ended up making a website and putting it on, and then I started wholesaling. And so the exact same products that are sold on the website or in strength and conditioning gym or CrossFit gym or anything like that are exactly what my athletes still get.
The original supplement.
Exactly, no different. There's no like, oh, we give them the good stuff and we put filler in the other stuff, because the industry is so full of being ripped off and fillers and really cheap product. It is, and especially proteins, it's an absolute race to the bottom. Who can make the cheapest looking product but make it look like it's the most amazing looking thing in the world.
Yeah, and that's the issue, isn't it? And then then it goes down, like, what are they filling it with? Like, there could be just some absolute garbage going in it, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I've certainly been really eye-opening learning about how they fill supplements or the different tricks they can use on labels, for example, writing different blends on it, peppering in little bits of ingredients and using that as an advertising thing. So what the one thing they'll do is they'll say, oh, we use this type of protein, it's the most amazing, best ingredient ever.
Yeah.
And they'll put like a little pepper that into the supplement and just bang, full of the crap. And so they advertise that it's got all this, great stuff in it, but it might only be 2 or 3% of it, and then they just can fill it full of everything.
Sounds like a fruit juice.
So yeah. Oh,
98% pear juice.
Exactly. No, it's exactly like that. And that's how they can make the product so cheap. And I've got no interest in that. I give my athletes that I work with the products, and I want the very best for them. So I'm absolutely not going to give them crap, because it's their performance is on me, and so I stick by that.
Yeah, that's great. And going down that athlete realm, what athletes do you have underneath you at the moment that you're working with currently?
So I've worked with a lot of different type of athletes, obviously starting in mountain biking and those sorts of things.
Because that's your background, right?
That's my background, yep.
Yep.
So then that moved into sort of motocross and triathlon and runners and other bits and pieces like that. Worked with quite an array of people.
Yeah.
So which is good because it gives you good background in different things. I even worked a lot with obesity. So you get a lot of joint problems. Again, that's not really part of the supplement side of things.
Yeah.
But it still gives you a good grounding and just continuing your knowledge and that sort of thing.
For sure.
So, and I enjoy it, so it's great.
Yeah, I mean, supplementation is very important, and we try and put that on our guys as well, that they should be doing the minimum at least of
Mhm.
having a protein
Mm,
after
yeah.
the training, just to help with the recovery and
Yeah.
whatnot. So we might go over now like what your products are, and why you should use that version at what time,
Yep.
and take it from here. So let's start with Supercharge and
Yep,
work our way through
easy.
it.
So Supercharge, pre-training product. I like to call it a pre-training product, not so much pre-workout, because pre-workout has definitely been sort of bastardized with crazy stimulants, making you feel like you're on wild drugs while you're in the gym or something like that.
Yep.
And the clients I had and everyone that I was working with, they wanted a non-stimulant training product that actually helped them train and improve their endurance and their power and their performance without that crazy stimulant feel. For the competing guys, I find it really important because they get to competition and they're already nervous and full of adrenaline before they start, whether it be starting a WOD or racing their bikes or running or something. And so
they want to then take this spike.
They don't want to go
like,
nuts. Yeah, exactly. And completely freak out and end up with way over the top in their adrenaline, and end up doing poor performance and making mistakes. So that's how this one came through. A lot of people find it they really like it about 25 minutes before training. Some people notice it's better 15 minutes, just depending on how their body works and those sorts of things. It's.
And what would be what do you think the main product in it that makes it so good for training? Like what is that helps?
Definitely the correct dosage of all of the ingredients I have in there.
Ooh,
So there's beta alanine, citrulline malate, and the betaine, and a few other little bits and pieces. There's ginseng in there. So the ginseng is part a little bit of the focus side of things, but it's not crazy wild focus. It's not 400 milligrams of caffeine stuff. But the betaine and beta alanine and the citrulline malate for sure, in again sort of the correct doses to work together.
Because well that's it. The correct doses and it's better, right?
A lot of people say the biggest bit of feedback I get is I can sit on the limit for longer.
That's good.
So for your competing athlete, it's great. Obviously for competition, for people who are training regularly and they want to feel better during their training sessions, they all feel the same sort of thing. And hopefully down the road, you get an accumulated effect of improved performance.
Yeah, well that's it. If you can take it to the level, maintain the level, you're only going to get better over time because you're now being able to maintain at that higher level.
Yeah, exactly.
But sounds like a goer.
Yeah.
Our next one here is the Hydra Charge. Yep.
So this one was built around Hydra Charge, so hydration. So making sure you've getting all your electrolytes in there. There's a good balance of electrolytes in there. There's also ones that I don't use that are used in other products because I won't name any brands, but a lot of other electrolyte type products or hydration products will give you the runs really quickly. And that's the worst thing. So if you're a triathlete, or if you're a triathlete and you're training and you're an hour and a half into a bike ride and you start getting back some hydration product, off you go. And then you get the runs or something like that, or you're running to the nearest cafe
runs
or
before
servo.
the runs, great.
Well, exactly, it's terrible. So that's going to impede performance anyway, because your guts are going to be really upset, and that's going to be taking energy out of you all those sorts of things. So that's another thing with all the products. It's very, very important that they settle well on your stomach, and that's why I made them using the ingredients I have. Partly is so they do settle well, because you go out and people take a protein shake and then they end up bloated out of here because of all the fillers and the crap. Exactly. And that's going to wreck their recovery and their performance because they're spending so much energy with stomach pains and gut problems, and it's
especially if you're mid workout, or like with CrossFit, you're doing if you're up at the level 2-3 workouts a day and you want to have a recovery in there because it's easy to get in, like especially at comp. I know if I'm at comp and you should have a big feed, but you can't get it in because it's only an hour and a half before your next event. You want to sip on something, it's like you want to have something that's going to settle and you're going to feel good.
For sure. Yep.
So should they take this pre or
no? So this is during.
Yep.
Anything that you're losing a lot of sweat, and those. So there's also carbohydrates in there for energy. There's a focus or a cognitive component, because a lot of feedback from the motocross races and some of the mountain bikers were that they're fine, their energy levels seem fine, but they started to make mistakes on the bike, like technical mistakes. So for a CrossFitter, same thing. I did some work with some CrossFit guys up in Queensland when I first started developing it. and they were saying the same sort of thing. So their lifts might not be as good because they make little mistakes here and there, but their body feels fine.
Right.
So that's what we've little bits and pieces to try and tick every small box.
It's a big there's a large focus group.
yeah, exactly. So it seems to, or it does work really well. There's a really light taste. So again, a dietitian was telling me one day there was some research into taste, or how sweet your taste buds can taste during exercise, and they're actually they're really sensitive. So and that worked out well with a few triathletes I was speaking to, and they're saying, all the hydration stuff we find, we can drink it normally, but when we're out 2 hours or something into an intense session or racing, it tastes really, really sweet. So this is quite light. It's it's just a light taste. So don't expect a super amazing
come from something
drink.
like one of the other ones that just tastes like it's a full sugar drink.
Exactly.
Like
well, it's not.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And then we move on to our proteins. So you've got two here.
So we've got Recharge and the Recharge Plant. Obviously, the plant ones for the plant-based diet guys and girls, the vegans and vegetarians.
Yep.
But Recharge is, I use what's called a high Dalton hydrolyzed whey protein.
Okay.
And I know. So there's so many different, you can get pea protein, whey protein concentrate, isolate, all these different things you see.
Yep.
And excuse me. And and then you get hydrolyzed whey protein, and then different levels of hydrolyzed whey protein depending on hydrolysis. So again, over the top. Basically, what it means is digestibility, and I have with this one has a very high leucine content, which is good for muscle recovery, amino acid for muscle recovery. The hydrolyzed whey protein digests really well and very quickly, and there's a few other little bits of like building blocks of amino acids I put in there to make it work. Just get all those little bit of small percentages to make it better for the athlete.
Well, that's it. Like I've been taking these products, and I know with that protein, it's the best protein that I've taken. I couldn't take another protein. I've taken protein for years, and the amount of different crap that you can put through your body that calls itself a protein, and you just think, I don't even know what's in this protein, but it definitely has you can recover so much quicker on that protein than you can on any other protein, which is amazing.
It's crazy that you actually notice one work.
Yeah.
Like you actually notice it work.
Yeah.
And so many people will say, I take my protein, and they just take it.
Yeah, what protein take?
Do you notice it?
Just
No.
take protein.
But people will come back to me, and I get emails and people telling me that I've really noticed this, so I've gone to another brand, and then I've come back to yours because I noticed it didn't work as well.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing. I love that. Obviously, love hearing that. So
that's great.
The plant one, I had a vegan athlete come up to me and say, why don't you make a Recharge vegan version? And I said, fine, I'll do it. Had a look into it. One thing vegans really seem to lack in their protein, especially on the market, is leucine. So it's a very important amino acid for muscle recovery.
Yep.
And they'll use pea protein or they use rice protein and those sorts of things. But the leucine content's crap, and it's especially important for vegetarians and vegans. And so I've used what's called a fermented L-leucine product. So it's obviously vegan, and I basically put a ton of it in there. So I think it's probably
more leucine in this one than this one, you'd say?
Yes, more leucine in this one for sure. But different types of leucine I use. Okay. So I use what's a leucine peptide. Don't freak out about peptides. It doesn't mean a drug like you might think. And this one uses the fermented leucine.
Okay.
It's probably twice the amount of leucine than almost any other product on the market. Some products have a third of it, and they miss massively. There's also fermented glutamine in there as well. Digestion. Not doesn't mean too much for recovery, as much people say that glutamine is important for recovery. It's more for gut digestibility. Not the world's best tasting thing, but I can tell you if your plant-based protein tastes really good, it's probably not what you think in it.
Right.
Yeah. And they might even not be writing, because the amino acids, obviously amino acid does not taste good. So if they're writing high levels of amino acids on the back, and it tastes that bad and it tastes that good, it's probably not. You're probably not getting what you think you're getting, in my opinion, because I've tried them all. And it's the industry is amazing on how much you can sort of pull what's the saying? Pull
pull the wool over
pull
your
the
eyes.
wool over people's eyes, or
Yeah.
consumers' eyes.
It's a bit sad.
It sucks, but
Yeah.
it's no different to anything, I suppose, in supermarkets and those sorts
Oh,
of things.
exactly. Yeah.
And the companies are the people that are selling you these supplements are companies, and are generally bigger companies with importers and things, and so they'll get the marketing spiel that goes to them, marketing spiel goes to the next person, and then on to you.
Yeah.
But they don't know, they've never seen what goes in it, they've never seen the ingredients, those sorts of things. They don't care that there's nothing in it that's great, or it's got filler in it. They don't care, they're making their dollar. But for me, I really do care, because I'm not giving my athletes fillers. I'm
That's
not
right.
giving them crap, only the best, and I really do believe in my products.
He's passionate, guys. He's very passionate.
Well, I do believe that they're best, and if I can't do them to the best, I won't do them. So,
I like it, mate,
yeah.
and that's why we stock it here, and we will always stock it here. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
if anyone has any questions, they can always ask you, or they can ask me.
That's right.
Give me a call. We can pick the phone up, call me, email me, anything.
There you
I'm
go.
happy
The
to
beauty
chat.
of having a local-based distributor.
Yeah, Australian made and owned. So
That's it.
yeah.
Well, that was great, mate. Thanks
Nice.
so much for coming in and giving us a rundown on the products, and hopefully that gives you guys a better idea of what's involved. I guess, I mean, you know a backstory on the product now, and you know that the product is what it says it is. So, yes, thank you, mate.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Cheers.
mate.